album we're touring here is called Land of Gold, which released back in 2016. We began writing it in 2015, and it was written entirely in response to the ongoing refugee crisis. As we all remember, 2015 was the summer that really it reached new levels and new heights, and it was kind of dominating the news feed where I live in London, and everyone was talking about it, and it was incredibly upsetting. And the tragedy is that it has continued, of course, at the same levels and worse, and yet it's no longer at the center of our news feeds. It's something that's still going on. So continuing to tour about it, continuing to play the music and engage with people about it has been a really lovely thing to get to do. We did fundraising for Help Refugees, which is a wonderful organisation based out of the UK, on the entire last part of the tour, and we're able to raise a really great amount of money for it as well. So it was nice to make the influence a bit more tangible as well at some point. But also I really believe in the power of just music and art being able to connect people on issues like this, where sometimes it's not as easy with dialogue between people, and I feel like art and music can kind of connect people from a heart space about things that they can often get too political about and therefore not agree on with their minds, but with your heart you will generally agree. So I feel like music can reach that place. I mean, we play as a quartet. I'm with three incredible musicians, two from London, one from New Delhi. Two live in London. Manu Delago is Austrian. And he is the main collaborator, I would say, on Land of Gold. He co-wrote all the music with me, and he's on stage as the hum player and the percussionist. So he plays all kinds of, electronic, like live triggered drums, and I play obviously the sitar, but I also do a lot of live looping and a lot of pedal work, which is not very common for a sitar player. So you'll see I sit with my feet down, kind of more like on a chair, not the traditional sat on the floor. And then we've got a lovely pianist, keyboardist, upright bassist from London, and he's also doing a lot of button pushing too. So yeah, between all of us we kind of do a mix of really acoustic work and also using the technology, but never in a way that it's not being played. Like as a musician, I don't always love going to shows where I see people having to play with playback and it,
just loop.
Yeah, it's a bit frustrating. I want to see people play, So that was something that really was important to me when we were designing Land of Gold, was like, how can we have the sound of the album so it has that same broad texture of the big bass and but still everything is played live, so you have the energy of musicians playing together. Well, I see a lot of young people come back to the classical music through listening to people like me. There are other people who do similar things to what I do, and it does really help bring a new audience back to their own music, or especially in India, for example, where maybe a lot of young people don't listen to the classical music, but they might listen to someone like me, and then from there get introduced to the music of their heritage, which is really beautiful.
Maybe a bit more about the concert. Will it be different from the other concerts that you have given during the tour?
Land of Gold is no two shows are exactly the same, but we are very much touring this album, so it's the same quartet, we're playing the same music, even though I do try to leave space for all the musicians to have a bit of improvisation and space to be fresh. We have a local opening act here, which we've never had anywhere else before, so that will make it different. And yeah, if I come again at some point, then that will probably be a very different show.
So we have a local artist, Eric Triton, which will be doing the first part of the concert. Do you know him?
I was introduced to his work through this show when they said they were going to book him as an opening act. So he's a wonderful musician, wonderful artist.
Can we expect maybe
A collaboration?
a collaboration between you and him?
We'll have to see.
Improvisation,
Yeah.
maybe?
We'll have to see. Yeah, I've just seen like on social media and stuff, there's been a few people responding from here and saying they're happy that we're here for the show, and that makes me really thrilled because I've never been here, so if there are people here that already know my music and are happy to come, that means a lot to me, so I'm very grateful, and I hope they're happy with what we do. But also just, I've heard a lot about the food. I'm excited about the food. What is that place called? I just read about it. There's like an energy center or something, like a vortex. Yeah, is not far.
Yeah.
That sounded really interesting. Is that something
We can organize for you.
Thank you. Yeah, that would be nice. I heard it's a nice place to go and meditate and relax, and that might be nice. Find the good coffee. Any tips?
There is local coffee.
Okay, lovely. Yeah, just eat and I mean, you know, that's kind of what I plan to do, really.